Hello everyone, this is Ashish Jain with Private LTE and 5G.com. I'm here at the OnGo Forward event in Dallas, Texas, speaking with Stephen Rayment, President of OnGo Alliance, about the role of CBRS in 5G and the 5G Plug Fest they've organized this year. Stephen, thanks for speaking with me today.
Thank you very much for having me, Ashish.
So tell us more about this 5G Plug Fest you're doing this year. What's new and how will this help the industry?
I'm glad you asked. We decided a while ago in the Alliance that mass market adoption was a very important thing that we want to achieve with OnGo and CBRS. And we have decided some time ago that 5G NR was really the next important technology step that we wanted to pursue. And there's this particular flavor of 5G NR called standalone. That's the SA part. Okay, great. So networks are coming along now that provide those capabilities, but what about the devices? What about the, as we call it, the UE, the EUD ecosystem? So the whole idea of this Plugfest was to draw out those UE vendors and to get them to test with the networks here at the event today.
Excellent. What kind of devices are we looking at now?
It's a whole range, which is really quite interesting. It's not just the smartphones, but we've got modules that can go in a robot or something like that. We've got little USB dongles that you could connect to your laptop. And there's also, I hate the term, we call it CPE, customer premise equipment. So if you have a router in your home, for example, that could be a CBRS CPE, and there are even larger ones that go outdoors. So all those different types of devices have been tested against the network here at the Plugfest.
Very nice. I mean, I know CBRS has really, accelerated the adoption of private networks using private LTE, and device ecosystem has always been one of the areas where industry always said, okay, we need more devices.
Yep.
I'm actually seeing many interesting devices. I've seen a video camera with CBRS now.
Yes.
Of course, you talk about dongles. I've also seen Chromebooks with CBRS now.
Yep.
Are they all, what are they trying to prove through this 5G Plugfest?
The main and most important thing, as I said, is this whole standalone capability. Maybe I should explain a little. So standalone is really very important, particularly for those private network applications that we talked about. If you're an IT manager and you want to run a CBRS network in your factory, in your warehouse, in your airport, you want to do that yourself as opposed to having to do it with an operator. And to do that, you want to have what's called a standalone network, where it's only CBRS and you're running that network. And the challenge there has been that there haven't been that many devices so far that support that standalone mode of operation. And standalone is very powerful because you can do it yourself without having to have the operator involved. But the 5G core that supports that standalone capability has a lot of very powerful features that we can bring to bear, like slicing, like network exposure, and so on, which will be very, very valuable to those IT folks.
Excellent. So I'm assuming through this Plugfest, we are basically trying to prove that, hey, the ecosystem is maturing.
Yes.
And there is an interoperability available.
Yep.
It's possible now, having CBRS devices connecting to a 5G core, the new 5G standalone core, to enable these emerging use cases and technology that we keep talking about for private networks in industrial use, education, farming, manufacturing, smart agriculture. That has been a big theme here this year.
Yes.
And then I see, so what next? What next after 5G Plugfest?
Well, we are still at the early stage. This is the first time that we've done one of these, and we had to really drag the vendors out of the woodwork to come and participate. There will be things that we'll have to work through. We will be doing this again, I'm sure.
Excellent. What's the sentiment from the community with this Plugfest? Are they seeing a positive side in this and excited about it?
I think so. I think we will look back on this as sort of one of those important industry turning points. And the thing I was thinking about this morning too is we've done this here in OnGo in the context of CBRS, but a lot of the things that we're demonstrating, user equipment devices, all those different types, that talk to a 5G standalone network, that's applicable across all of the different bands that we operate in, isn't it, right? So I think OnGo is really, to some extent, leading the charge here in terms of pulling that ecosystem out of the weeds.
Absolutely. So in terms of your vision for the next 3 to 5 years, where do you see the 5G private network will find its adoption?
Well, it's very interesting. I think that CBRS, its strength and its challenge is its broad range of potential applications, isn't it? We started out with capacity augmentation for the mobile operators. We see quite a few of the wireless ISPs deploying fixed wireless, but now a couple of the next big things are we see the cable operators getting involved, but the big thing that's going to get us to some of the targets that we've got in terms of the number of CBSDs, as we call them, I hate that term, citizens broadband service devices.
Let's call it CBRS devices.
Radios, right? If we want to get to those target numbers, private networks is an important part of making that happen. The vision being that, we'll have lots of these radios and lots of different enterprises of all types throughout the industry.
Excellent, excellent. We'll see I'm personally seeing a lot of momentum. I'm very excited about this technology. I think
too.
Private network is the next big thing. Thank you for speaking with me today.
Thank you very much, Ashish.
Thank
Okay,
you.
pleasure.